Hello, everyone. Welcome to another DCU Daily, times MCU Weekly. So here we are, a little bit earlier today, and we're gonna get this party started. Obviously, we are going to be getting into tons of news, box office stuff. We're going to be talking about a little bit of an update in regards to the Penguin Season 2, if there is going to be a Season 2. And then MCU Weekly is pretty much mostly rumors and a couple updates here and there, but a lot of rumors, and we will be dissecting those as much as we can. And then, of course, we have our wonderful quick hits, and then we are, of course, going to be getting into DCU Daily. We're going to be talking a lot of Peacemaker Easter eggs, and of course, the Superman box office / its digital streaming numbers and how that's tracking. And then, of course, after this show, we are going to be doing Fancast Friday, where we are going to be fan casting Brainiac, if, he does show up in the second installment of the Superman saga. But until then, let's get this party started and on to the news.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the needs now.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Of course, now time to get into the news proper. And, first things first, we're going to be getting into the box office. And first things first, we are going to be talking about Weapons. Now, obviously, Weapons has been doing surprisingly a very, very, very good job in regards to its box office. It garnered $100 million domestically, not even talking about worldwide, but domestically, which is definitely a huge feat for the budget horror film. So, it's Zach Krieger's, sophomore effort is really, really killing it. Also, hello, Hunter Iggy, and hello, Emo Nerd Kitty. Lovely to see you. No. Definitely not, but we are going to be talking about Superman numbers much later into the show. But congrats to Weapons. This is the second biggest, as it says in the log line right there, the second biggest opening for, or second biggest, in regards to a horror movie after Sinners. Together was kind of a much smaller hit, but it didn't really get a lot of... It didn't really get a lot of fanfare. It didn't really get a lot of advertising or anything like that. But Weapons received a lot. So with this $100 million addition in regards to the domestic box office, it has $172 million worldwide. So congratulations to Weapons. I love the movie. I thought it was great. If you haven't seen it already, then by all means, I would say if you like horror movies and you like good mystery films, we reviewed it on the show. Go back if you want to watch that. But yes, this is a great feat, and I think Zach Krieger has a great future ahead of him as a horror filmmaker. And this was a very personal film for him, so obviously there was a lot of kind of writing on it in terms of the personal aspect, but it's made around $72 million worldwide with its $100 million. And by the way, $38 million was the budget, so it has made like triple its budget, over triple its budget. It's made over quadruple its budget at this point. I think quintuple its budget. I keep doing the math in my head. I'll blow like, nope, double, quadruple, quintuple. Yep, 5 times the budget, over 5 times the budget, almost 6 times its budget. So I think it's safe to say that Weapons is in a very good place right now. But you know what's not in a good place is the next lone Coen brother film, Honey Don't. It apparently only did $525,000 in previews. That's probably not a big surprise because, again, this movie has had no fanfare whatsoever. So it seems as though it's probably going to be a bomb. It's the Rotten Tomato scores have not been very kind to the film, as I believe it was like in the 30s or 40s. It has a 47%, 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. And much like their previous film, Trisha Cook writing and Coen directing, the very much mediocre Drive Away Dolls, this seems like it's going to follow suit, even though it does have a lot of promise, good cast of that sort. So, hello, Patrick. Very lovely to see you. So, yeah, it's sad for people who are interested in this film, but we got to brace. We got to brace for K-pop Demon Hunters. The sing-along version has been apparently sold out in its limited theatrical run in theaters, and at least half of the theaters have been sold out, because I think we were talking about that yesterday, the day before, where it has like 1,200 of its screens of its like 2,700 or something like that have been sold out. So, I don't really care about K-pop Demon Hunters, but it's fine. It's fine. We're going to be probably getting into those numbers on Monday. But yeah, good stuff. Next up, in terms of the final things in terms of the box office, the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie is apparently building towards a $20 million opening. Obviously, this is just a prediction. We don't know anything right now. But due to the tracking and due to the pre-sale numbers, it's looking for a release between $20 and almost $30 million. Just anime seems to be killing it or anything in regards to that. So congrats to Infinity Castle, because Demon Slayer I've heard nothing but great things about, but I don't really care about anime. So here we yes. So, congrats to everybody. I apologize for that. I had the wrong microphone on. So if I appeared a little bit loud, I do greatly apologize. But now we are going to be getting into the Penguin side of things, because there was a little bit of Penguin stuff in regards to both the Matt Reeves universe and what was the DCEU. But apparently the Penguin showrunner, who is Lauren LaFranc, says there won't be a season 2 until after the Batman 2, if ever. The intention of our first season always was, we're launching Oz into the second film. I don't know why I said Oz like that. Oz, not Oz. Guess that New York accent's coming out, even though I'm not from there. But it's fine. But yeah, I hope that we do get a season 2. I hope we get other spin-offs in the Becks, because it just feels kind of strange to me that they call it the Batman Epic Crime Saga, yet it would only include 3 movies and a TV show, or a miniseries if it's just a miniseries. I do hope, even though I didn't love Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman, I hope we do get a second season of Penguin, and then in addition, like a Catwoman spinoff. Maybe something to prepare for the Court of Owls, because I know that's a big rumor right now. Maybe an Arkham Asylum. I know they tried to do a Gotham PD and an Arkham Asylum one, which were like at first connected to the Becks, and then it was connected to the DCU, then it was canceled altogether. So I don't know what the case is there, but I do hope that we do get some more films and television shows in the Becks. But hello, Monique. Very nice to see you. No, let's curb it on Joker. Please, for the love of God, let's curb it because I'm so sick of Joker at this point. And especially after Full Adieu failed, let's move on from that. I saw Demon Hunters when it was on Netflix. I saw it with my daughter first and second time. Cool. That's very nice to see. But yeah, I do hope that the Penguin and the Becks get more they eke out a little bit more content than just, the 4 projects that they have or have planned. Joker all day. I mean, yeah, it's just like give us some other fucking villains, man. Like we've gotten Joker in every single iteration of we got it in the Burton Schumacher verse, we got it in the Dark Knight trilogy, we got him in the DCU. It's just like let other characters take a shot at at the limelight, and I just want Joker to just sit at, like I will say when it comes to the Batman Cape Crusader, it's a didn't they own I don't know about that. I never watched it. And I think like I would love to see, Bane again, like maybe try to like make him like work in sort of like a comic booky kind of vibe. I would love to see, I'm excited for Clayface because it's like we're finally, I love how these comic book characters like I want them to feel comic book, and I feel like James Gunn is constantly doing that. No, let's not. Again, both Joker and Harley need to take a step back. Harley just needs to be drug out to the back of the shed and just shot in the head at this point because I'm so fucking sick of that character. But but that's just me. I think Colin Farrell did an excellent job in that role, and I do think I think that he really, despite not being very comic booky, he really understood that character and what made that character really work. And I really, really enjoyed his portrayal. And I hope we see more of him. And whether that is a season 2, whether that is his role in Batman Part 2, whatever it is, I'm excited to see more of that because Colin I mean the man's a tremendous actor. Exactly, Monique is saying it. Well, yeah, because it's Colin Farrell, so I think that's obviously that's great. But speaking of having characters in every iteration, well, the Penguin didn't. There was never a DCEU Penguin. And there is actually a reason for that. According to Margot Robbie, she revealed that the original villain of Margot Robbie's ego trip, I mean Birds of Prey, that Penguin was the villain in the first script. So but Matt Reeves said, "Don't use the Penguin. I'm going to use him in my thing." And so we swapped it to Black Mask. So let's thank the Lordy heavens above. Also, hello, Elite Easy E. Very nice to see you. I think I thank God. Like all the clips I've seen from this movie have just been not good, and I think Elite Easy could say like they wasted Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. Screw you guys for that. Also, hi. Ooh, that's a good question. I have Oreos. Should I? I think Dollmaker could be good. I know Court of Owls has been like extremely popular. But ooh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. But I mean, there's plenty of I don't know, like it just I'd love to see Man Bat. I think that would be great. Yeah, that would Condiment Man. Honestly, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. But I mean, it's just and like Firefly. I will say what you will about the Batgirl movie. Maybe it could have been good. Maybe it could have been bad. Brendan Fraser as Firefly, that would have been awesome. I know, like it was a Batgirl movie. Hugo Strange would be great. I'd love to see Hugo Strange. Like Giancarlo Esposito, I think would be a terrific Hugo Strange. Mad Hatter would be awesome, but Matt Reeves essentially ripped off the Mad Hatter for the Riddler. Um, 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 hmm. But I mean, you could say Victor Zsasz. I mean, he was technically in Birds of Prey, but like that was not the Victor Zsasz character. Boom. Yes. Hell yes. Giancarlo Esposito. I thank you for agreeing with me at Elite Easy. But yeah, Anarchy could be a good one. Brother Eye, because that leads into the whole Tower of Babel storyline. I mean, there's a lot of them. You could even have like sillier ones like Killer Moth and Electrocutioner and stuff like that. But yeah, whoever it is, I think Vandal Savage could be good, but like that's more of a Justice League hero. But yeah, I think there's plenty. I know Dollmaker is definitely a really good one. Like definitely more serious, but I feel like that fits more the Reeves universe than the DCU. But yeah, I'd love to see Killer Croc done right. Again, I know he was in Suicide Squad, but if we're talking about characters who have never faced Batman, Killer Croc would be great. But yeah, lots of great ones. Black Mask done well. No, I don't mind Professor Pig. I just think like for the DCU, I just don't think he would fit. And then for the Reeves universe, for the Becks, I think I think well, Eric, Deathstroke is not the problem with Deathstroke is he's not a Batman villain. He's a Teen Titans / Nightwing villain. Professor Pig, I just don't think would fit with the DCU. And in the Reeves universe, they essentially just made Riddler into like a serial killer. And I feel like Professor Pig, who is an actual serial killer, it would just be repeating the same stuff over and over again. Again, Court of Owls is like kind of the big one, but I don't know if Reeves is gonna go with that because it's too obvious, so I'm not gonna do that. I have to be inventive. So Clue Master could be good like way later down the line because then you can introduce Stephanie Brown as spoiler. So that would be oh god, fucking don't remind me. I think yeah, because people keep using Deathstroke as a Batman villain, even though he was originally created as a fucking Teen Titans villain. But everyone's like, oh, he's the antithesis of Batman. Except Bane is the antithesis of Batman, yet Deathstroke came in and swooped in and stole his thunder because people are stupid. So, they turned the Riddler into the Unabomber. Honestly, yeah, I can kind of see that. I don't think Deathstroke should be in a Batman movie. Save him for the Teen Titans movie. That works. Or a Nightwing movie. Boom. I'm just saying. Batman, whatever. But that is it for the DC side of things. Let's move over to the MCU Weekly side of things and really get this sort of all these rumors and stuff going because there is There's a lot of them, and comic book movie sure loves their rumors. So apparently, big old MCU rumor roundup with Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, Star-Lord, Jeff the Land Shark. Yeah, this is how I react to fucking to rumors. Bullshit, especially if they're by Jeff Snyder, because fuck Jeff Snyder. So, but this is not by Jeff Snyder. It is Cosmic Circus, who has had pretty much a very shoddy record. They have rarely been correct. So take this with a humongous grain of salt, because it is most likely not true, except for the very obvious stuff. So, there's a lot of intrigue in regards to the MCU. And according to the Cosmic Circus, Marvel Studios is working on an adaptation of AXE Judgment Day. The 2022 storyline revolved around the Avengers, X-Men, and the Eternals, with the latter group of immortals targeting the X-Men when it was revealed that they were descended from the Deviants. This is probably bullshit, because people would now again, this is like modern Marvel, so it's probably not very good. Maybe somebody read the comic out there, I'm not sure. But in regards to this sounds dumb and most likely not true, because they did the whole celestial in the middle of the world thing in Brave New World, specifically because they didn't want to make an Eternal sequel because the Eternals failed. And I feel like you would definitely get the ire of fans if the whole thing is like the X-Men were descended from the Deviants, which I think is just kind of dumb and would be a very stupid thing story-wise, and it just doesn't make sense. But the site has claimed that Chris Pratt's Star-Lord will be back and will build a new team of unlikely heroes, but not the Guardians of the Galaxy. This might be a reference to the Avengers Secret Wars concept art we've seen of him and Wong seemingly watching over the Young Avengers. But as we all know, that Russo brothers came out and said that the concept art was fake. So this is 100% bullshit. Because yes, we know Star-Lord is coming back, because we saw that at the end of Guardians 3, because it's like, oh, Star-Lord will return in Avengers 5. So, then the upcoming Wonder Man TV series will feature Damage Control. Damage Control's Agent Cleary. I don't even know who that's supposed to be. And playing the same role as they did in Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. No wonder I don't care. Then there's Shang-Chi 2, Black Panther 3, and Strange Academy are still being developed, while Marvel Studios is eyeing Jeff the Land Shark to replace Baby Groot as the kid commercial friendly character of the MCU. I'd be willing to believe that, because it's very stupid, and the MCU is all about terrible decisions nowadays. I mean, as it says right here, there's no immediate plans for Eternals 2, yet they're including this whole stupid thing. But, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I don't know if you guys believe this or not, but hello, SD Hydro, already coming in and trolling the chat. Batman steals villains all the time, like Onomatopoeia from Green Arrow. Yes, that is indeed. And Clock King. Don't forget about Clock King. Hello, right, dude? No, it's okay. We were a bit early today, so it's fine if you were a little bit late. Yeah, lots of rage, because people are fucking pissing me off. That's why. Yeah, most people thought the Eternals was boring. Yep, boring as hell. Didn't Eternals possibly? I don't exactly remember. I mean, it was probably one of those movies that got a little bit of a budget. So, I mean, technically, if we're talking about, the budget was 236.2 and the box office was 402.1 million. So technically that's a bomb. It made maybe a little bit of money, but yes, Monique, I just looked it up. It didn't do well. Sad to say for the MCU when it comes to, no, it's a shame. But again, this is all rumor mill stuff, so it's probably not true. But it's we have a lot more MCU stuff to get into. So Yeah, the only one I'm willing to believe is probably, the fact that Shang-Chi 2, Black Panther 3, and Strange Academy are being developed because we haven't gotten a naysayer being like, hey, this is, or Kevin Feige saying like, hey, this is no longer being developed. So like any dumbass could tell you that. So yeah. Um, because Jeff Snyder perpetuates bullshit and is a whiny little fucking crybaby when he doesn't get his way. Because literally, he's going on the entire anti-DC tirade because he wasn't invited to a screening of a movie like fucking 5 years ago. So, frankly, Jeff Snyder is just a little whiny bitch boy who can't handle anything. And that's why we say at the end of every show, fuck Jeff Snyder, because he's a loser and is a bitch. So that's why I say fuck Jeff Snyder, because fuck Jeff Snyder. But yes, now it is a bit early. We try to do 9 o'clock, but we always kind of get delayed. Dan is working on stuff for Fancast Friday, so he might be on there, but he hasn't been feeling well, so he might not be. I might be a lone wolf throughout the entire day. Also, hello, Andre again. I saw you at the top of the show. Yes, thank you, Patrick. Jeff Snyder is indeed, and it's Snyder, not Schneider. It's Jeff Snyder. He is indeed a hack. Yes, as I just said, he'll probably be on for Fancast Friday. Happy Friday, Brogu. Hey, Brogu, lovely to see you. Always a great day whenever you enter the chat, my guy. So yes, we stand Brogu in this chat, ladies and gents. So mess with Brogu, you mess with me personally. Because I don't really care about Grogu, but I love Brogu. Brogu's cool. But moving on to other MCU related things, apparently Avengers Doomsday shooting update reveals some potentially major spoilers for 2 returning MCU characters. Obviously, the cameras are rolling on Avengers Doomsday in the UK whilst still writing the script because, Marvel has no idea what they're doing. And they have an update on how work is progressing, according to Scooper Daniel Rickman, who isn't as bad as Jeff Snyder, but he's still not still not one of the greats, but he has a little bit better track record. Yeah, that many cast members have already finished filming their scenes. We were talking about Alan Cumming yesterday and how he was talking about like filming his scenes. Yeah, I think it seems, and the way he talked about it, I think like he was talking about like how he finished filming already, while Rebecca Romaine is still unsure if she is finished filming. Yeah, but the thing is, they had the power of 10 years of build up to the entire. It's like, the biggest curriculum commercial hits yet, a couple of years down the line, everyone's kind of seeing how faulty those movies really are, and they had the backing of 10 years of good graces while Marvel has been stumbling and falling the past 6 years after Endgame. So, we'll see. Much has been said about Chris Evans and Haley Atwell's reported returns because the big rumor is that Chris Evans, Captain America, going back in time and with the stones, they caused the incursions that Doom is trying to stop. And that Marvel Studios will be shooting scenes with Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter in their house. That was the whole Luke Cage thing that we were talking about like months ago, and apparently that was a code name for Rogers and Carter's house. So there's chatter on social media about being shot in Great Windsor Park this weekend. Meaning we could get the first photos from the Doomsday set. So Rickman's report may confirm rumors that Doom will track Captain America down because of the damage he inflicted on the timeline by going back in time for a happy ending with Peggy. Presumably, the Russo brothers will use this to bring Evans back as Cap and better explain his return at the end of Avengers Endgame as an elderly man, which is a big plot hole after Loki. Now, I never watched season 2 of Loki, so I'm not sure what that is. And it looks like they're doing the whole he's really not the bad guy thing, which is kind of iffy. But yeah, I think I still don't know about this whole rumor about yeah, Brogu is the bro, and Brogu saying hello to everybody in the chat. That's fair. That's fair. I've seen a couple people not like the film for various reasons. Um, you know, but I think but let us know your thoughts. Did you hate the movie or did you like it just wasn't for me? Um Yeah, for me, I loved Weapons, but if you want something a little bit different, then people can go see it. But yeah, I'm not sure about these rumors for Chris Evans coming back, but we'll obviously see. But apparently we got another rumor. So many rumors, a rumor mill all day, every day. So Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom will get a surprising ally. So possible spoiler stuff. But here is our boy, Jeff fucking asshole Snyder, coming in with yet another most likely bullshit take. So apparently Benedict Cumberbatch's former Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, will be working with Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. So we wouldn't be at all surprised if this was accurate, but will it be our Strange or a multiversal variant? We have heard that Doom will use the fact that he so closely resembles Tony Stark to his advantage by infiltrating other realities with his group of evil Avengers variants, but this wouldn't necessarily mean the Earth 616's Doctor Strange won't decide to change allegiances, and maybe we'll see a follow-up to Clea. Yeah, I'm just going to say gigantic horseshit on this one because it's Jeff Snyder, and fuck Jeff Snyder. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Everyone just saying hey in the chat. I think it's very nice. A lot of heys in the chat. But hello, Sergeant Giratina. I don't think we've seen you around, so hello. I mean, sometimes she usually doesn't really talk much. I usually tend to talk a lot during me or Dan usually talk more, and she just kind of chills. But she usually tends to chill in the background, so it's here's the thing, that leaked concept art, was that from a couple months back? Because those Russo brothers debunked those, the ones with like Damon Idris as Black Panther, Chris Pratt working with the Young Avengers, him with White Vision. If that's what you're talking about, those have been debunked. Yeah, it was taken down because the Russo brothers, like, we were covering it way back when, that yeah, the Russo brothers said that it wasn't theirs. Exactly, it's very stupid. But the concept art, that leaked concept art, we covered it way back when. It was debunked. Russo brothers said that's not ours. They straight up said that concept art is not ours and said it was bullshit. So that leaked concept art, bullshit. So, in the next couple years, I don't know. I don't really know next couple of years. In terms of the rest of this year, I'm excited for Frankenstein. I'm excited for Long Walk. Those are the two biggest ones if I had to say any. But in regards to really any of them, I mean, I'm excited for Black Phone 2, Badlands. Those are and The Running Man, those are probably the biggest ones for the rest of the year. But so, I think I just think I don't know about the next couple of years. I mean, I'm excited for all the upcoming DC movies, like relatively, like Supergirl and the next Superman movie, Clayface. I'm super excited for. I'm really excited for Spider-Man next year. So, oh God, Black Phone. Speaking of Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson, Black Phone was excellent, and Black Phone 2, I was like, how are they gonna make this work? And they made it fucking work. So good on them for that, because that now they're Dune 3. I would say I'm very, very much, intrigued about Dune 3. I can't get excited for any of the Avatar movies because The Way of Water was just the same movie over again, but water. So it looked beautiful, but like that was kind of it. But speaking of being excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day, there's a whole thing with Sadie Sink's role. We've been saying it from the beginning. That the only official trade reported details about Sink's character in the new Spider-Man movie, that she's playing a sharp and free-spirited woman who has a mysterious past that kind of fits into Black Cat a little bit. But we have heard that there is some kind of big twist relating to Sink's character that the studio is doing its best to keep under wraps, which is most likely going to be that she's Mayday Parker. We don't have much to go on for now, but this could explain why there are so many conflicting reports out there. It wouldn't be the first time a studio leaked false character details to throw the scoopers off after all. It may also support a recent rumor that Sink's character will be an ally to Peter Parker, but not necessarily Spider-Man. So I'm like, we've seen a lot of stuff, but this leads me to believe that she's going to be Mayday Parker, like that there's going to be like time travel. They're not going to like outright say time travel, but maybe with the upcoming reset of the MCU, like maybe she tries to go back in time to like stop that, because maybe it like wipes her from existence or something as like the future daughter of Spider-Man. So, that could be it. Yes, Dune 3, definitely intrigued. Hello, Hosea. I have not seen a single Purge movie, but I do plan to watch the first one for a video I'm doing in the near future. So I will be watching that first one, but that's about it. That's only for a video. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you guys think it's Mayday Parker? Do you think it's Black Cat? Do you think it's another character? Do you think it's Gwen Stacy? Do you think it's another character that we don't know of? So obviously let me know your theories down below. Um, you know, but yeah, I think this is definitely a really, really good thing to be thinking about, because it garners excitement for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I'm excited for it. I don't think it'll make $1 billion, but I am excited about it. So next up, we go from one street level hero to another, and that is all about Daredevil. So Daredevil Born Again expected to run for at least 3 seasons, because there was the whole miscommunication from Charlie Cox's point of view, where he said the second season was the final season, but Vincent D'Onofrio came and was like, no, it's not the final season. And Charlie Cox eventually backpedaled and he said, no, it's not the final season. We still have another one to do. And it seems like that they're prepping for a shoot next year. Nexus Point News has actually been one of the better kind of quote unquote scoopers out there, because they've had some good exclusives. I know they did a David Denman interview a while back for Peacemaker. They were right about the whole Tom King Green Lantern thing for Lanterns. So they had this to say: although season 2 is several months away, Marvel Studios has already begun prepping for a potential renewal and is aiming to begin production on season 3 in March of next year and shoot through the summer, similar to season 2's production schedules. Cox's and D'Onofrio's contracts indicate that they have both signed on for 3 seasons. Following season 3's release, their contracts for the series will be up and will need to be renegotiated pending the status and reception of the series. So I think, yes, we will be getting into that later. Figure drawing, yeah, that definitely seems like the case. Exactly. But yeah. Brogu is also looking forward to seeing my brother's debut in his first feature film entitled The Mandalorian and Grogu. I did some stand-in work when Grogu was taking his nap. You're a very good brother, Brogu. But yeah, 600 million. I mentioned we are going to be discussing that a little bit later. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on this? This makes sense in terms of a contractual point of view, because because the first season was kind of, iffy in regards to, the whole thing in regards to the reception. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. The reception of it. So, ooh, sorry. Oh, things are pouring out right now. I do greatly apologize, and I can't turn off my camera because there's no Dan to help me out. So, I got to deal with this. But that's okay. There we go. That's that. Things are falling out. It's fine, and it would be great if I had another host, but Dan isn't here. So, oh well. But I'm still iffy on whether or not I'm gonna watch this or not because I heard that season 1 was not very good, and I I I don't know. It's just a whole fucking mess of bullshit right now, and I, I don't know because the first show, the original show, was so good, even with season 2 kind of being iffy. Yeah, right. But yeah, I have a mini fridge down here for drinks, and I was trying to get one, and then of course everything poured out because fuck my life. Anyway, but in regards to all of this, in regards to all of this, what are your guys' thoughts? I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on. Did you guys like Daredevil Born Again season 1? Are you excited for season 2? Are you not? Are you excited that they're probably coming out with a season 3? Thanks, MTG. I really appreciate it. You guys are a couple of cards. We really appreciate what you guys do for the show. Don't worry, we're gonna try and get that Discord server up and running. Yes, but I did manage to get one. I do have my Hawaiian punch, so I'm gonna take a swig because I've been talking for a long time and my mouth is dry as hell. So, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Brogu. Yes, Angelica, we will be talking about that later. Let me star your guys. Oh, because it was bad or you just didn't have time. I'm very curious about that, Jose. Yeah. But definitely can we close it? There it is. Yay. It's closed for the most part. But yeah, whole bunch of missing. I really enjoyed Daredevil. I'm looking forward to next season. That's good. Well, we don't know if they're going to have their own Netflix series. However, we do know that Jessica Jones is going to come in for season 2. Yeah, that's a shame. As I said multiple times in preparation for the show when it was first announced, if it's not on the level of the Netflix show, then I have no interest. Because from what I heard from diehard fans of the show, the original Netflix show, that they majorly dropped the ball. So, Enterprising liked it, didn't love it. Season 1 was pretty good to me. I wish Muse did a bit more, though. I hate cliffhanger endings, but at least it's not a 2-year wait. That is true. But yeah, I think we do have one more Marvel-esque news. Well, it's Marvel adjacent because it's 20th Century Studios, but Predator Badlands has a comic book prequel announced by Marvel, produced in collaboration with Dan Trachtenberg. Now, I am super excited for Predator Badlands. As Brogu was asking, what are the things are you excited for? Well, I am excited for that. So, I might pick this up. I might pick this prequel up. They will. Jessica Jones is coming in season 2. Coming in season 2. She is coming into the show in season 2. So yeah, mainly it's like, oh, liked it, didn't love it, or just straight up hated it. But I'm really like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be like, I was actually very hesitant. I know maybe you guys may or may not believe that, but I was very hesitant with Badlands because when I heard that it wasn't gonna be what Killer of Killers was about, like, oh, the Predator going back in time and like going to all these different people in different points in history. Oh, yeah. So fucking good. So good. Fuck you, K-pop Demon Hunters. Killer of Killers is where it's at. Anyway, so I was really nervous about Predator Badlands, and then it was like, because Predator Badlands, I think it was originally reported, or at least there was a rumor that that it was going to be like that it was going to take place in World War II, which is one of the bits in Killer of Killers, or like World War I or World War II, and it was going to be like trench warfare, and it was going to be about the Predator. But I think those became false, and so I was like, I don't know. I really want that history thing. Luckily, we got it with Killer of Killers, and then when it's like, oh, it's going to be about it's a young predator trying to prove himself, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. And then that first trailer dropped, and I'm like, yep, I'm hooked. Let's fucking go. And then the second trailer, I was like, pumping me up even more so. Let's friggin' go. And hell yeah. Yes. You're thinking of Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning, when I saw her, I was like, what is she gonna do in this movie? And then when I saw her, I'm like, oh, she's gonna be the best character in this movie. I could guarantee it already. What is wrong? I don't know what's wrong with James Gunn. I hope James Gunn is okay. Or did you like read a report that he's like in the hospital or something? Nothing's wrong with James Gunn. I like James Gunn. I'm confused what you're asking. Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. I didn't get it the first time I watched it. Then I saw this like really good breakdown of, I'm like, oh, that's what it's doing. Okay, I definitely appreciate it more. And I didn't think they were going back. Yeah, better than it could have been. That is true with Daredevil. I think Cliffhanger is used to work with old TV when we had mid-season breaks and waited 3 months or 6 months for the next season, 2 years. I'm done with The Last of Us and maybe House of the Dragon. Yeah, I get it. Like, that's why people are loving like Only Murders in the Building and Slow Horses, is because they're actually like year by year. It's crazy. Like, it's like, oh my God, they're year by year and we don't have to wait 5 years for the next season. That's crazy. Like Wednesday and Stranger Things, we have to wait years and years and years for like in between things. And that, I think the biggest problem with that is that movie stars are being in more TV shows like Jenna Ortega and, and like Millie Bobby Brown got a huge career. Finn Wolfhard got a career. And I don't blame them. Like popularity of Stranger Things, they move on to bigger and better things. But like then you have to deal with the movies they're filming, and then in addition to that, like all this other stuff. So it's like, I get it, and that's where like TV, even though it's like become this like new cinematic-esque thing that it's hard to enjoy because they don't want to have like a yearly thing, and then like you only get like, and the biggest problem is it's like 6 to 10 episodes, maybe like 13 or 16 if you're lucky, that it's like, oh, we're only getting that many. And then like look at Stranger Things, we're getting like 3-hour fucking episodes with like 8 episodes. Just like have it be 13 episodes. Like I don't get this, this whole thing hyperbolic much. I mean, obviously it's over exaggerated, but when you gotta wait like 2 or 3 years between seasons, it's a little tiring. So I get why someone like M2G is like, I'm done with these shows. I don't want to do that. So season used to be 24 episodes. That's when they were able to pump all this out. They worked for like a week per episode. They didn't have these big fancy cameras and all this stuff, and it worked. But now we're in a brave new world, as Captain America would say. I just finished watching Peacemaker season 2. What the fuck? How are you supposed to take your kids from Superman to Peacemaker, dude, is tone. Oh God, we already got into this fucking argument. I'm not talking about this. Anyone who has seen the first season shouldn't be surprised by how adult. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Enterprising. But I'm excited for Predator Badlands. That was the thing we were talking about, and I'm excited for the comic book prequel. But that is it for the MCU Weekly side of things. Next up, we have quick hits, guys. We have the wonderful, wonderful quick hits. So let's get that Boston Nova elevator music up and on here. And we are going to be getting these wonderful quick hits. Now, speaking of Marvel, the original Ghost Rider might be in the next season of True Detective. Speaking of TV as well, Nicolas Cage talks to star in HBO's True Detective Season 5. Honestly, I know this first season was like the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then it dropped off from there. I know Season 2 was apparently really bad, and then Season 3 I heard was good. I heard Night Country was good. But honestly, I'd fucking watch this because it's Nick Cage. I love Nick Cage. The man is on fire right now, pun intended with the Ghost Rider reference. I can't wait for Spider Noir whenever that's coming out. I don't know when the hell that's coming out, but that trailer got me fucking stoked, man. So, I think that's coming out. It's gonna debut in 2026, but I'm excited for this. I might watch it now. I never watched any other season of the show. I know it's great. So oh, okay. If it was Jeff Snyder, then it's not true. Okay, never mind. And we got bamboozled by the douchebag yet again. God damn it. So, never mind. This is all bullshit. Anyway, next up, Josh O'Connor plans an art heist in the Mastermind trailer. The Kelly Reichardt written and directed film also stars Alana Haim, Gabby Hoffman, John Magaro, Hope Davis, and Bill Camp. I haven't seen Josh O'Connor in anything, but I've heard wow, saying Severance sucked. I think he wrong a lot. He is wrong a lot, very much, Patrick. Another Patrick in the chat. What do you feel about that, Patrick? Meet Patrick. Anyway, wow, saying Severance sucked. Man, you're lucky Dan isn't here. He'd be going off right now. Yeah, but but I mean, look at Liz. Like during her staycation, she has like 50 shows to watch, like pumping them out. So if the Cage thing is true, which I don't think it is, then I would watch it. If it's not, since it isn't, I won't watch it then. But yeah, this looks interesting. I don't know if I'd watch this, but could be interesting. I haven't seen Josh O'Connor, but I've heard things that he's a good actor. So yeah, neither am I. So yeah, could be cool, could be not. Anyway, next up is Bradley Cooper's Is This Thing On lands December release. Cooper directs the Searchlight feature and stars alongside Will Arnett and Laura Dern. And so apparently it centers on Alex and Tess, who attempt to navigate their divorce as Alex changes his career path to pursue a life as a confessional stand-up comedian in New York City. The life of British comedian John Bishop inspired the movie's story. So this seems to be very interesting. I'd probably watch it. I know his last directorial effort didn't really do so hot, but I love Will Arnett, I love Bradley Cooper, and I love Laura Dern. So maybe I'll probably give this a watch. So the new Guinness show. Oh, that's interesting. I think it's great. Yeah. No, I've heard Severance is great. I'll try to give it a watch eventually, but I'm very busy. So, but yeah, this looks very interesting. Next up is my cup of tea. Boom! Halloween, baby. Let's fucking go. Michael Myers is getting the Friday the 13th treatment, that he is getting his own game where you play as a victim of Michael Myers and you're trying to survive his wrath in, I don't know if it's in Haddonfield. The trailer referenced Haddonfield, but it sounds like it doesn't take place in Haddonfield. But I am super stoked for this. The trailer looked awesome. It has a really great impression of Dr. Loomis. I'm pretty sure Tom Kane did it, because Tom Kane is the pretty much go-to in terms of a Dr. Loomis impersonation. But step into the chilling world of John Carpenter's genre-defining film, now transformed into a suspenseful one versus many stealth horror experience. Put on the iconic mask to become the ultimate slasher, Michael Myers, stalking and executing the citizens of Haddonfield one by one, or striving to thwart Michael Myers' plans as civilians, determined to save the unaware townsfolk before it's too late. Stick to the shadows as civilians seeking out Haddonfield residents to warn them and searching for a way to contact the authorities. As Michael Myers, give them a reason to fear the dark and cut the phone lines to prevent the police from ruining his favorite holiday, whether playing solo in story mode against bots offline or facing others in online multiplayer. Each mode rewards stealth, strategy, and skillful play. So essentially, if you've played the Friday the 13th game, it is essentially they are doing this for Michael Myers as well. So I'm super stoked for this. I'm on a video game kick right now, and I'm on a horror video game kick right now. I've been playing nonstop 7 Days to Die, and I love it. So yeah. Brogu, I absolutely love John Carpenter's Halloween, obviously one of the greatest horror films ever made. As you agree, I think it's one of the greatest horror films ever made. The funny thing is, it's not bloody at all. It's more suspenseful than anything. Yes, even though movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween really perpetuated the whole slasher genre, it wasn't really very bloody because it was more on what you don't see, and that's what the intention of the producer Irwin Yablin's. But yeah, Michael Myers, great killer. It seems like they're kind of doing the same thing with from Friday the 13th, but Friday the 13th's whole thing got cut short because the writer came in, because I think the whole thing was like 40 years later you can like go back and sue for rights of the script, or so. There was like some writer's loophole after like 40 years, so that's what Victor Miller did, and so he sued Sean Cunningham and he won. So now the Friday the 13th rights are split in two. Victor Miller owns the rights of everything from, I think, the title and everything that happens in the first movie, and then Sean Cunningham owns everything else. So I think that's what it is. It's a whole mess, so who knows. But John Carpenter is backing this, apparently, so I think we're in for some awesome stuff. I mean, Halloween as a franchise isn't great because it has more duds than hits, but I still love the original film. I love Halloween 3 and 4. I like Halloween 2018. The rest are either okay or can fuck off. But yeah, Resident Evil Requiem, yes, I've heard some good things about that, but for some excitement and stuff. But yeah, can't wait for this. Documentary about late Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman from Superman team in the works. I think this is a good idea. I think it's the actor was taken from us far too soon, so it's nice, and similar with Christopher Reeves in terms of his accident, because they were around the same age when Chadwick died and when Christopher Reeve became paralyzed. So I think that we will be getting a really great thing with this, because Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story, was excellent. Well, we're not here to talk about Black Panther. We're here to talk about Chadwick Boseman. And I mean, I'm not a huge fan of his solo film either, but I cannot deny that the man was an exceptional actor that had a really bright future ahead of him, but cancer had to come in and ruin it, because remember, guys, fuck cancer. So I would be looking forward to this, and I think they are going to do all right. But I think this is a very, very I think this is a very good idea, and I would say I'm like bittersweetly excited for this, because I was excited for the Christopher Reeve documentary, and that obviously made me bawl my eyes out, and I'm sure this will as well. So rest in power, Mr. Boseman. I hope that this team does you justice, And I think with what they did for Christopher Reeve, it most certainly will. So apparently, Beatles to re-release anthology documentary with new episode, unreleased demo track. So the Beatles famed anthology documentary is getting a new edition this fall for its 30th anniversary, as the band, well, what's left of the band, is set to re-release the 8-part project in November with a special 9th episode along with a remastered musical collection and a special edition of the anthology book. So for any Beatles fans out there, get pumped for this. I might finally sit down and watch this, because it definitely yeah, absolutely. Chadwick Boseman was elite. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I think it has structural problems and some cheapness that I don't really care for, but has everything to do with film. Chadwick was never the worst part of any of his films. Definitely gone way too soon. Chadwick was an exceptional actor. I will watch it, and yeah, he was a king, not just on screen, but off screen. I will say Get On Up, I was very disappointed in that movie. Again, Chadwick Boseman was excellent. The rest of the movie was very much not good. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and Kyle Kaiswetter, very, very, very lovely to see you. But Beatles, yes, their anthology is getting re-released, so get pumped for that. Can't wait, because, I'm a big Beatles fan. You probably can't see it unless I full screen myself. There it is. Hang on. There it is. That's my Abbey Road poster right there. Boom, boom. I used to have another Beatles poster, but I can't fit it because I have way too many posters in the back. But yeah, hell yeah. No, that's not a hot take. That's just facts. Hosea trolling in the chat. Boo Beatles. Just kidding. No, we know nobody can hate the Beatles. It's literally impossible. You cannot hate the Beatles. It's against the law. And you're wrong. We all live in a yellow submarine. Yes. Just hopefully it's not with billionaires trying to find the Titanic, because we know how that turned out. Anyway, on to the next thing. Paramount acquires R-rated comedy pitch The Island from Trevor Noah. Neighbors scribe Andrew J. Cohn adapting screenplay. So apparently The Island, not the Michael Bay film, tells the story of two polar opposites, a successful alpha businesswoman and a hopelessly dedicated male high school teacher who are the sole survivors of a plane crash on a deserted island and must rely on each other to stay alive. Sources said COVID lockdown inspired the idea for Noah. Could be good. I'm not a huge Trevor Noah fan, but I do like the movie Neighbors, so maybe it could work. However, this sounds reminiscent of that awful Idris Elba and Kate Winslet movie, The Mountains Between Us or whatever. Horrible movie. So, I don't know about that, but this sounds like an interesting idea. I would say change the title, because you don't want to confuse for the, Michael Bay movie. Anyway, but next up, speaking of Paramount, and comedy, Paramount makes big buy for comedic spec script Bald Eagles. So it is a comedy spec script. Oops, sorry about that. By rising scribe Brandon Cohen, that sources say is in the 7 figures. Details on the deal and script are being kept in the airy, but Eagles is described as an R-rated high-concept workplace comedy, so we might be getting like a Severance comedy type thing going on. Oh, sorry, Elite Easy, but I'm glad you like it though. But absolutely, Come Together was wonderful. My favorite is probably, why am I blanking on it? Let It Be. Let It Be is my favorite. But yeah, this sounds really cool. And to all the Dexter fans, I greatly apologize for this, but Dexter Original Sin canceled despite renewal announcement. But it seems like Dexter Resurrection Season 2 Writer's Room to open soon. But apparently, Dexter Original Sin is not returning for a Season 2 after all. Variety has learned from sources that Paramount has opted not to move forward with another season of the prequel series. A Season 2 renewal announcement went out in April, but sources say the series has in fact been on hiatus, and no plans to shoot a second season had moved forward, and no production dates were scheduled. The show had originally debuted in December of 2024 and wrapped up its first and now only season in February, but it seems like Dexter Resurrection is continuing. I did hear a lot of not great things about Dexter Original Sin, so yeah, absolutely. We do have to check the prediction list when we get into that. Absolutely. Okay. So yeah, sorry to any fans of Dexter Original Sin, but I heard the reception was very mixed. So, cancerous Blake Lively teams with cancerous Mark Platt for action rom-com The Survivalist at Lionsgate. British screenwriter Tom Melia is penning the script. An action romantic comedy. Survivalist tells of a highbrow reality TV producer named Annie who, against her wishes, is assigned to a new show hosted by a famous survival expert, Chopper Lane. However, when a shipwreck strands them on a deserted island, Annie discovers Chopper is a fraud and knows nothing about survival, leaving her in charge of figuring out how to keep them alive. Forced to work together, they begin to discover an unlikely chemistry. Yeah, this sounds dumb, and it literally just sounds like the island thing we were just fucking talking about. This sounds at least kind of interesting, but this sounds like that movie with Daniel Radcliffe, Channing Tatum, and Sandra Bullock. I don't know what the Lost City or something like that. I heard that was really bad. Interesting. Yeah, definitely. They launched a Dexter reboot and prequel at the same time. Greedy. Yeah, they're trying to make like a whole Dexter cinematic universe now, or TV universe. But yeah, this sounds dumb. Never gonna watch it. Anyway, NBC Universal in advanced talks for 3-year MLB package nearing $600 million. Cool, great, don't care. Netflix launching Astrology Hub streamer to recommend shows based on your sign. Zodiac signs are bullshit, so this is fucking stupid. Next, Kevin Jakubowski adapting Evan S. Porter's debut novel Dad Camp for Netflix. 21 Labs and Happy Madison to produce. Published by Dutton in June 2024, Dad Camp follows John, a devoted father who finds his once close bond with daughter Avery unraveling as she enters her preteen years, desperate to reconnect before she starts middle school. He signs them up for a week-long father-daughter retreat at a rundown summer camp where he's forced to confront both his fears of losing her and the evolving nature of their relationship. Sounds very typical of like coming-of-age stories of like parental children relationships. Doesn't sound very interesting to me unless they like try to do something unique with this, but I can't imagine that they will, so probably not going to watch this. But here we have Guillermo del Toro being based like he always is. So Guillermo del Toro was saying this when he was directing Frankenstein. He refused, unlike the Russo brothers who do everything green screen and CGI heavy and all that horseshit. Guillermo del Toro says he refused to make Frankenstein with too much visual effects and green screens. I want real sets. I don't want digital. I don't want AI. I don't want simulation. I want old-fashioned craftsmanship. I want people painting, building, hammering, and plastering. And this is why Guillermo is one of the fucking goats of the industry. I cannot wait for Frankenstein. It's gonna be amazing. We got an incredible Invisible Man adaptation. We got an incredible Nosferatu adaptation. So, Guillermo del Toro, let's keep this going with Frankenstein. I am nervous about Jacob Elordi, but del Toro is based and amazing, so I still have full faith behind this because I love this man. I love everything he stands for, and I love the craftsmanship of his movies. So hell yeah, let's fucking go. Del Toro is, I know he wanted to do a Justice League Dark movie and then it just never happened. Doug Liman was going to do a Justice League Dark movie, that never happened. Joseph Kahn never was going to do a Justice League Dark movie, that never happened. It's just Justice League Dark, I feel like, is cursed, and let's not deal with it. Yeah, I don't know why you're talking about multiverse stuff, but yeah, Guillermo del Toro is the fucking GOAT as always. Moving on to lesser things, Charlie Day would be up for third Horrible Bosses film, has had conversations about it. The It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia actor is aligned with Jennifer Aniston, who recently expressed her desire to return to the R-rated franchise. I liked the first movie. I didn't like the second one because it like essentially like makes fun of rape victims for some reason, because rape against men is funny, I guess. So yeah, I think they had a good thing with the first one, and I don't think it should have gone beyond that, even though you had the greats of Christoph Waltz and, you know, Chris Pine in the sequel. So yeah, I think this franchise, what little of this duology, needs to remain a duology, because the second one was okay, but like those jokes just aren't good, and they just need to stop doing that and acting like it's funny. So, you know, well, I mean, that was like years ago. That was like recently, years, and well, Guillermo del Toro was like going to do a Justice League Dark movie in like the mid 2010s. That was before James Gunn came on. So, you know, I think he was talking about Swamp Thing, because everyone wanted Guillermo del Toro for Swamp Thing, but then he's like, well, he never asked. So, you know, exactly. So yeah, don't do a Horrible Bosses 3. The second one wasn't all that. So yeah, no, stupid. But Apple TV Plus hikes its monthly price by 30%. There's still no ad-supported option, but apparently the streaming service will now cost $12.99 per month in the US, up from $9.99. So if you guys are, you know, Apple TV Plus subscribers, just be forewarned. They do have a lot of great stuff on their plate, mainly their TV shows. So just be wary if you didn't want this at all. But yeah, that seems to be the case in this economy, because they're greedy assholes and people are just going to pay it. So yeah. No, I agree with that. I think it was very uncomfortable, and like, and then essentially saying, I'm gonna, whoa, hang on, sorry guys, kill the spider. But yeah, I just think, yeah, don't do Horrible Bosses 3. Don't do it. It's gross. And like she's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck your wife now. I'm like, gross. No, stop, please. But yeah. I mean, to be fair, the original 1953 one is pretty great. So, you know, but yeah, I don't know why you did this to yourself, man. But yeah, so keep in mind, if you're an Apple TV Plus subscriber, it's going up, guys. So yeah, but that is it. For quick, let's get right of that bossa nova elevator music. But yes, we are in it for the long haul now, because we are done with the news portion of the episode. So thank you for watching this side of the show. Don't worry, we're still getting into DCU Daily, so keep in mind for that. And yeah, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you know when we go live. But we are still going to do DCU Daily. So let's get James Gunn to say we're blessed from the start, and continue on to DCU Daily.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. Hunka hunka.
All right, everybody, let's get into DCU Daily. All right, so now, after that tremendously wonderful intro, we're going to be talking tons of DC stuff today, mainly with what's going on with Peacemaker, since that is the newest addition to the DCU. And so we are going to be getting into that. And let's get right to it. So the first thing we're going to be talking about in regards to Peacemaker is the Easter eggs. I couldn't think of the word. The Easter eggs. But We're going to be talking about those. So just keep in mind, if you have not watched the episode yet, we are going to get into spoilers, as you can see from the bottom right now. Spoiler warning for Peacemaker. Not really worried about Weapons, Superman, and Fantastic Four First Steps, but just letting you know, we are going to be getting a little bit spoilery. So just not huge spoilers, just mainly Easter egg stuff, but no, I have not seen it. My parents watch it, though. They say it's excellent. We were talking about that earlier on in the show. I'll help you out. I'll direct. I'll write for you. Just got to give me the money to do so, and get me in charge of some actors and all this other stuff. I can help you out. It is, and it's very wonderful to see. Yeah, very much poo apple. I cherish peace with all my heart, and I will kill anybody I can to achieve it. And Brogu filling in for Caleb, as he is very busy right now and can't join us, but very much honka honka. But oh, hey, look, Dan's in the chat. Hi, Dan. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's get into first things first. Let's change it to the proper graphic, shall we? Boom. There we go. So the first thing we're going to get into is some Peacemaker Easter eggs. Now, the first thing we have is a couple references, very old school references to very old school creatures. But these were newspaper clippings in the alternate dimension of Peacemaker. How he, his father, and his brother are huge heroes in that world, and apparently they were murking people left and right. And the lesser known villain here is the Rainbow Creature. Now, I have no fucking clue who the Rainbow Creature even is, but this is very much a James Gunn type of thing, just introducing weird ass characters that nobody's ever heard of and just putting them in back. Like, he loves doing that. But the Rainbow Creature, apparently from New Earth, not much is known about him. He appeared in one Batman comic in 1960, and that's about it. But James Gunn has to give us that little tidbit of this character nobody fucking remembers, to the point that his DCU fandom wiki stub is empty. So, that's very interesting. But, Rainbow Creature, I totally didn't notice this. I didn't even notice the Ultra Humanite mention, but very awesome to see Ultra Humanite getting some love. He appeared as the Stargirl villain in season 3, so that was lovely to see. Came from South American volcano. Thanks for the warning. Victory is mine. But yes. Great shout outs. Like this fucking really weird one. And then this one, he's a JSA villain. He was originally Superman's arch nemesis, and the silver ape, whatever. So yeah, gotta love James Gunn and his strange additions to his DCU by giving us characters that nobody fucking remembers. But apparently we're getting into more DCU Easter eggs, because as we all know, this is the DCU version of Peacemaker. For the most part, Peacemaker season 1 is canon, and with very few exceptions, and those exceptions are right here. So in the scene where the Justice League showed up in season 1, the Justice Gang shows up, and instead of Barry talking with Aquaman about his fucking fish fetish, that Green Lantern is she hates Peacemaker because Peacemaker perpetuates a rumor about him that he has a puke fetish. So he tells Hawkgirl this, and she starts laughing. So Hawkgirl and Green Lantern are the ones talking rather than Aquaman and Barry. And we're going to see who else is in that big shot soon enough. But we also have White Rabbit. She was announced way back when she was going to be appearing on the first episode, and it's just a bit part. So very funny to see. And again, this is the Evergreen Sentinel. Top Trio does it again. But yeah, so this is where it's going, where it's the whole DCU canon. As I mentioned, the whole thing with the Justice Gang, you can kind of see the differences between the Superman, but we have Mr. Terrific, Superman, Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and even Supergirl in this. So it shows that Supergirl has more of a presence on Earth than we originally thought. So that's definitely a very interesting little tidbit. Yes, the rainbow creature, what's he going to do? Make you feel extremely uncomfortable? I have no idea. Well, he'll make you uncomfortable if you're a right-winger. But great way to show it's a different universe. Yes, I like how they just did a one and done and like that kind of thing. I hoped it was a little bit more creative, but I still liked what they did. So Supergirl getting some love, showcasing that. And then obviously, since this takes place, that season 1 took place before the events of Superman, Metamorpho is not on that team yet. Gunn seems to pick out comic history to support his storytelling. Absolutely. But yeah, so we learn that the Justice Gang, Superman and Supergirl appear because these are the only established heroes prior to the events of Superman that we know of. So they had to appear right here. Then obviously showcase that played by Bray Noel. Jana Houston is a criminal from Gotham City. Her powers include being able to duplicate her physical being. She's been crying after her Justice Gang review went horribly after, Maxwell Lord kept pointing out her her camel toe. So that's a nice little tidbit. And speaking of Maxwell Lord, the billionaire owner of Lord Tech made his first DCU appearance in Superman, calling out Lex Luthor for saying he sucks, because that's something we can all agree on. And now running recruitment in for the Justice Gang, probably after Metamorpho. So they want to expand the team even more so. Lex Luthor is mentioned. Sacha Bordeaux mentions that Argus is on high alert about interdimensional anomalies ever since the Luthor incident, where Lex caused a dimensional rift in Metropolis. That's why Frank Grillo as Rick Flag is partially after Peacemaker, because now they're on super high alert with dimensional stuff. And they don't want that. They don't want this kind of thing to happen again. So now Argus is on high alert with what happened because of Superman. Clevis Thornweight appears, the Sphere news host from Superman Returns to the DCU. He was the anchor who interviewed Peacemaker for his Superman cameo. And in addition to that, mentioning how metahumans are on the rise and causing chaos, and which is said here. The Sphere News says there have been numerous metahumans breakouts from Belle Reeve, or it's Belle Rev. This links to the broader DCU, where Waller started using monsters for Task Force M and Creature Commandos, leading to more metahuman chaos. The alternate dimension is a perfect world. It's been revealed. David Denman with a perfectly cue ball, bald head and lovely beard. That Peacemaker's brother is alive in this perfect world, played by David Denman, as I mentioned. So Peacemaker's father is also alive, and he's not racist. Well, at least not against imps. He's still kind of racist against imps, but not against, other actual. Well, that would make him speciest or xenophobic, I guess. I don't know. But it appears he hates dimensional imps. But so they both love him and are superheroes that fight for good as the top trio. So that's pretty awesome. And then I mentioned before, the Evergreen Sentinel newspaper, the alternate dimension, has a framed newspaper from the Evergreen Sentinel. Evergreen is a famous city in DC Comics, including once being the home of Hal Jordan. I don't know about that. I thought it was always Coast City, but I guess I was wrong. But hey, James Gunn seems to know more than me. So these are a bunch of the Easter eggs that appeared in regards to the now DC. Oh, hey, Dan is here. Hi, Dan.
Hi.
Sorry.
Just wanted to catch you guys before everything was done with. Yeah. Sorry, I missed a bunch of the show, but hey, everybody. Yeah, the look, I don't know how best. I'm still sort of absorbing the whole. I guess I don't have anything personally against the idea of doing what they did, which is, I think you sent a meme in our group chat. It's called a retcon. What was it? What was it about? It was like I just forgot. Like it made a lot more sense in the meme. Yeah, gaslighting. That's crazy. There's no such thing as gaslighting. What you were describing is called a retcon, according to James Gunn. I don't know who came up with that. I'm sure there's Snyder cultists out there who are having a day with this, which doesn't make sense because I'm like, Gunn made both seasons, so he can do whatever the hell he wants. I don't know if you talked about it so far. He mentioned like he wanted to Lucas, as in George Lucas, the shit out of season 1 of Peacemaker, but it's too expensive. So I guess he's just retconning it, which is fine. So, thank you. Yes, no, I'm taking stuff. I'm taking stuff that's helping. Thanks for the advice. Robitussin definitely something that was on the mind. Hello, Steven. Glad to be here.
Although Steven Ortega asking me what was your reaction when you saw the nudity in the episode. Here's the thing. I said this yesterday. Maybe
they told you it was coming,
but
so
no, he did. But it was like I was downstairs in my living room when I watched it. So, and my mom was downstairs. So I'm like, please. And for like this entire sequence, I was like, please don't come upstairs. Please don't come upstairs. Please fucking don't come upstairs. Please don't come upstairs. And luckily she didn't. She came in like 5 minutes after the fact. So I'm like, thank God.
Dude, this is a show. Literally, I have a TV in my bedroom, right? And it's a pretty good setup. It's not as good as the home theater system. I'm like, this ain't a show that I'm watching in my home theater system where other people can, walk in on. I'm closing the door, and after episode 1 of season 1, I did not want to have that happen again. So, yeah. So, I'm glad you didn't have that problem. Holy cow! Yeah. Have they updated season 1, the finale with the right? I don't know. Did they? John, have you seen if they? Because on HBO Max, if you go and try to play back that would be interesting. I mean, I obviously Disney has done it many a times. I don't know if that's the case, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I have no fucking clue.
But we'll check on that. Maybe we'll let you know on Monday, or maybe one of you guys can quickly pull it up. We'll figure it out. But no, I mean, honestly, does it matter? Like at this point, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But yeah, Easter eggs, cool. I'll let you keep on going here.
Yeah,
I've got some stuff going on here in the background. I'm multitasking here. I'm making sure we are ready to go for Fancast Friday. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, but apparently we did get the opening sequence too, which we're not going to play the entire thing because we don't want to get permabanned. So we're just gonna leave it on that for we're just gonna leave it on John Cena. But you guys could check out the opening credits, which I will say not as good as season 1 in terms of the song. I think the Wigwam song was better. However, I said this yesterday. I think the dancing sequence is overall I think the dancing was better. I think the epicness was better, and it's less awkward and uncomfortable as season 1 personally was for me.
Honestly, here's the thing. I'm just gonna quickly say this out front. I think the second season 1 sucks compared to the first season because I don't care if the choreography is better. It doesn't work as well without the song and it doesn't work. The song was everything. Without the song, it's kind of like this. This is my thing. Now this is a pattern. James Gunn gave us a banger, soundtrack for Guardians of the Galaxy. Then he decided to get, really personal with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I didn't care for half the shit on that soundtrack. Again, I might be, in the minority, but I'm like, the first movie soundtrack was way better than the second one, and they peaked the first movie. And I think here he's made the same mistake. He's like, I came up with a really great idea, and now I'm going back to something that I personally really love. I'm like, nobody gives a shit, James Gunn. It was better in season 1. It just was. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna leave it out there. I might be wrong. You might disagree. I just think season 1 intro was 1,000 times better because I still want to taste it, and I ain't gonna get that chance. But you know what? It is what it is. Sorry, rant over.
That's all right. But but I don't know. I still liked it. I liked the episode. Here's the thing: I didn't really like season 1 all that much. I thought it was okay, but season 2, like the setup with what we got, I liked it. I think we're gonna, it's set up. Like they got to set things up. This is technically a new universe, technically a new, like a whole new kind of thing to like get into, but also picking up the pieces from last season with what Adebayo dropped in regards to Task Force X. So, I think I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun, but that's just me. What the fuck do I know? Right.
No,
So,
I mean, hey, you are look. You have every right to your opinion. I'm not like gonna force my opinion onto anybody else. I personally thought season 1's intro was way better. That's all.
Also, I just double checked right now. I just logged into HBO Max, and no, Justice League is still in season 1. They did not retcon that, so it's still in.
You still have fake Henry Cavill Superman in there, and not Gal Gadot Wonder Woman in there. Yes. Hey, I'm just telling you how. You know what? That's all I can do. I can just tell you how I feel. Sorry, James Gunn. Like, you made a great show, but give me the season 1 intro. I mean, okay, John Cena's gyrating hips. I will give it that. That's the best part of it, and cool.
And Frank Grillo's terrible dancing. Come on, that's always a win.
That's a good addition. I'll yes, and he's not that bad actually. He's really not.
Anyway, so let's not totally get demonetized here. So let's just move on to the next thing. Oh, speaking of Henry Cavill, there we go.
Oh, there he is, the most handsome Superman of all time. Now I'm just sounding like a Zack Snyder cultist. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean you do, because like the most handsome is easily Christopher Reeve, and it's not even close. Anyway, but
that's okay. We're not going down that rabbit hole.
But Henry Cavill, I would say, is easily number 2 for poop. Am I right? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it's a good intro. I like the intro, but we're moving on to bigger and better things now.
By the way, that guy on the right, he does look like Henry Cavill, even though that's David Cornsweet. In that moment in the movie, I was like, did they just get Henry Cavill?
Yeah, because he's evil and crazy, which is much like his version of Superman.
You know what? Just have fun, John.
I'm a trolly troll. Anyway, but very much hee. But James Gunn, on whether he considered a DCU crossover, talks future DC Studios digital releases. So Peacemaker, talking, to comicbook.com. Could I make it so that season 2 Peacemaker is the DCEU Peacemaker, even though he's not really the DCEU Peacemaker, and he walks through a portal, and that's where the DCEU Peacemaker is? I could have. People are like, how are normies going to understand it? The answer is normies don't give a shit. Normies don't care about all this canon stuff so intimately. Exactly. They're like, oh, cool, Peacemaker and Superman team up. Oh, cool, it's aliens and Predator together. It doesn't matter if it's not completely consistent with the past. So I thought the simple way was really the best, which is just saying the world is a little bit different. I agree. We know there are universes, and this is a universe in which everything was exactly the same as season 1, except for Justice League and Batmite, which I think is bullshit, because I think Batmite should be in the DCU, especially if played by James Gunn. Anyway, he could Lucas the shit out of Peacemaker Superman, but can't because it's too expensive. That's what Dan was saying earlier. Recently DC has come under fire for releasing Superman on a digital platform. This is for the Superman stuff, and we're going to be getting into this much later. In a separate conversation with I Think You're Overthinking It, Gunn responded to the complaints. Next time it's going to be longer. I don't want people to get used to it. It's purely because of Peacemaker that I let it come out at this time. So even though you don't need to watch Superman to understand Peacemaker, he just wanted to put it out for the people that wanted to watch it at home before they watch Peacemaker. And that's it. I'm just saying. Anyway.
It's all good.
Exactly.
I mean, hey.
Yeah, no matter what they were going to do, it could have been the greatest fucking season 2 intro of all time. It was never going to live up to season 1.
But you know what the thing is?
It's like if they ever made Half-Life 3, it was never, or Portal 3, it's never going to live up to the hype that is the succession of years that it's been so long since the last entry. It's never going to be as good. So it's like, don't release it at all. That's the only other thing you can do. So
but I'm thinking like just keep it the same. Just keep it the same song with new choreography. You know what I mean? Like they could have done that. I would have taken. I'm just saying, like they didn't need a new song. You know, it's not like when they make the 5th Harry Potter movie, they throw out the original John Williams theme and just start making something new. You know, I was like, I'm just saying, like maybe they overthought it. That's
let's
again.
No, I don't swing that way, Hunter. But you know, thanks
Sorry,
for recommending it. I think that's what Steven wants. I think he wants like a 3-way with us because he definitely kind of acts like that. But you know, it's cool. It's cool. Got no problem with that.
You said it, John, not me, and I'm not interested. So
I'm not interested either. I don't swing that way, bro. So you're good. You're a very handsome man, but you're taken. I'm not interested. So just want to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's so different, honestly. And the thing is, it doesn't lend itself to like a dance beat. That's my biggest thing. Is it just they didn't pick a song that like worked well for dancing like that. That's
why I think the Wigwam song is better. It's just I think like maybe because it's going to be a slower like kind of season,
right?
Sorry.
Maybe. I mean that's definitely one way of looking at it.
Because the thing is, the best things about season 1 for me was the character stuff. It just got let down by a kind of lackluster story and bad humor. So that's why I was like, but I like his reasoning here. I like how he went with the simple way because that was really the best way. Okay, good to know. Not my problem, but sure, I appreciate the advice, I guess.
What does that have to do with what we're talking?
I don't know. Yeah, I get that. That's why I'm like, that's why I don't mind it, but I like, I obviously that's what he said. So, I don't mind it. I think I just like the Wigwam song is just like kind of in your face. And I liked that more, but I liked the slower song here, but I just think the Wigwam song is better. I like the sequence more. I liked the funness of it.
I mean, I guess what I was saying though earlier, John, do you think it's a fair comparison with the whole Guardians 1, Guardians 2 soundtracks? I feel like Guardians 1 was an absolute banger after banger, and then the second movie, he went with stuff that was more personal to him, like stuff that he loved, which is completely fine. But I just felt like the second movie, the Volume 2 soundtrack, was not nearly as good or interesting as the first one. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm grasping at straws here, but like, do you think that's a fair comparison?
I mean, I'm looking at because I don't remember. It's been years since I've seen Volume 2, but I mean, Mr. Blue Sky, that whole sequence with Groot was great. I love the chain. Fleetwood Mac is awesome. My Sweet Lord by George Harrison is great. Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. That's, it works within the context of the movie. Cheap Trick's Surrender is great. Father and Son makes sense. So I think it still has really good songs. It's just they're not as well known as like some of the songs that were in the first one. But I think both soundtracks are good.
Yeah. No, and I mean the ratings definitely are a good reflection, Angelica. But I think it's also about like it's a TV show, right? So there's not going to be as many people watching the show as there were watching Superman. So Superman did the job, but I think this can just keep up the momentum. Which that's the best way to put it, I think. Yeah. Cool.
I mean, you couldn't have waterboarded this out of me, but you do you. Posting it on the internet for public, but you do you. Anyway, but let's move on to bigger and better things. Yeah, we just talked about this with
like
the whole
they did in
Justice Gang
episode
thing.
1 of Peacemaker. Sorry, I'm just kidding. That now I would just never mind. That was an orgy reference, but anyway.
This was like the specific thing where he mentions he puked all over Green Lantern, and he says that Guy Gardner was 100% into it. So that's replaces the whole like fucking fish joke, which is good because I'm honestly the Aquaman joke is kind of tired at this point in his journey. So but I still like it. I mean, I like how it's like when they talk about Adebayo because she says Justice League, but she's like Justice, and then like it cuts to something else, and then she says gang, so as it's clear it's like an ADR thing, and I'm like, cool. But you know, I like it.
I mean,
It's
you know what the thing is? I'm like, if you show it to somebody who never saw season 1 and this was their first exposure, if you fool them, I think that's all that matters. Because clearly, like some of you guys are mentioning, there's a lot of people who are probably finding this show for the first time now. And the only thing I worry about then is like if you watch season 1, clearly the way it ends is different. Well, you know, there's one more character that looks different. Anyway, well, not that it's really consequential, honestly. I'm sure
for me, I think it should have been called The Peacemaker, and it just starts out from this is like the beginning, and then it like goes off from there. You know, mimicking Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad. Anyway, but you know, now we're getting into Peacemaker spoilers, I guess. You know, this is mainly just talking about White Rabbit. Like, you know, she was in like the first 5 minutes of the episode. It's not really much of a spoiler.
Well, no. I think the reason why, okay, so the headline is a bit misleading, but I think just to kind of color what they're talking about, just it is interesting that we're getting a lot of these Batman related characters well before we're going to get a Batman movie. And like, for example, James Gunn's next big thing right now is whatever Super Family movie he's working on. And I mean, he's going to start shooting that probably around the same time, if not even sooner, or maybe just right after Batman Part 2. I think the question that I had in my mind is like, where does Brave and the Bold ultimately land? And, you know, like even Wonder Woman, I'm like, these are, because I feel like the whole reason why Wonder Woman is being expedited is because David Zaslav walked in the door and was like, oh, are you not doing these big characters? And James was like, oh, no, we are. Anna, like, get your, you know, like ass on that script. And all of a sudden it's, you know, like I feel like because James Gunn is so public about all of this, hi Tony, it's sort of like some of this is playing out in the public eye because James, we can connect the dots is what I'm saying, right? It's like, and I do wonder, like it's a legitimate question to ask, like are we, because we're talking about like Justice Gang, Justice League, or whatever, you know, whenever they do the eventual team up, we might not get this Batman movie till at least 2028, if not later. So that, I mean, and you know, you have all these other characters. I'm like, eventually, because like they keep saying, and James Gunn has been non-committal, I have a feeling we might end up seeing Batman introduced in some other project before we get into his own movie, because it's going to be so long. Because one of the things that I've been noticing is that clearly they made us believe they had this very specific idea, like for what they want to do with this universe, but they are kind of flying by the seat of their pants in a lot of ways, considering how many things, you know, like, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Or actually, I don't know, John, did we go through that already? It was in the, I think the updates on the other projects, right? Like just giving these generic updates. So, anywho, go on. Sorry, I'm hijacking the
but some of the people in the chat were talking about this earlier. That Superman is the first hero pick of the year to fly past $600 million globally. But remember, guys, this is a failure. Worst movie ever. It's not going to make past $10 million. It sucks. It's the worst thing ever. The boycotters win. It sucks. It's horrible. It's terrible. But you know, but yeah, I think this is awesome. Lovely to see. It is past finally 600 million. It's proving that people still care about Superman. People still care about this character, and they loved it and what James Gunn is doing, and you know, it do be like that. It do be like that. But
it's the biggest superhero movie of the year so far. I mean, or it's gonna be. Nobody's catching up to Superman, so
go Superman next time. Fail better. Super woke. I can't wait to watch the Peacemaker season 2. They're sick of the grifter bitches.
Hi Mario.
Yes. Showing Superman crown and then King. Very nice. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this, Dan? Do you think this is deserving, or do you think it deserved to insert Snyder reference here? I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. Or do you think Superman deserved to bleed?
Well, okay. Here's well, he did bleed in the movie, but I think it's 600 million is a good number. It's less than what we thought it would do. I think we're also looking at a time now where we have to reevaluate what makes for a successful movie, right? Like in Hollywood, at least, superhero genre, even just big blockbusters as a whole. But I think as we continue this conversation, we're going to get into more of what that means, John, because it's about now digital, like what it's doing on digital. Like 600 million is obviously not as much as we thought it was going to make. So, but it's still profitable. Like it's definitely profitable. You add in all the other ancillary sources of revenue with whether it's merchandising or brand partnerships, everything we've talked about, it's gonna add up. But at the same time, it's on a dollar spent versus dollar return. It did make less at the box office versus Man of Steel, where again, without even counting for inflation, in terms of 2013 dollars, they spent virtually the same amount of money making the movie and marketing it, and got more back from it versus what they did. Not by much. It's like going to be less than 70 million by the time you're all said and done. I'm just saying that, like that's kind of my take, right? Like it's like it's not a runaway success like we thought it would be. That's just ultimately like what it comes down to. So that's like we thought it might do $1 billion, 800 million. But like, for example, MTG is saying Avatar is going to give us a better idea of where the box office truly is at. But then again, we have seen exceptions. Like we have seen Spider-Man No Way Home make almost $2 billion. The last Avatar made over $2 billion. So, and so if Avatar does similar business to the second movie, then maybe it is more a reflection of the superhero genre. Like maybe, movie. I mean, and despite the fact Superman was such a departure from anything else we've gotten from superhero movies in the last little while, maybe audiences are just looking for something else. Maybe superhero movies are played out. Like I'm just saying, like these are some of the questions that we can't necessarily answer today just from the data that we have alone. I think it's going to require us to see how does Avengers Doomsday do next year and all these other movies. So yeah, exactly. Like is the market there for superhero movies the way it was? Because 600 million is profitable, I think. Because here's the other thing, right? If 600 million is now considered like what used to be 800 million, 800 million is what's used to be $1 billion, then I think they need to rethink the financials. You can't be spending over 200 million making these movies. Like 150 should be the max. Like 175 should be considered the budget. Max. There you go. So I'm like, it's maybe they need to rethink the economics, because you can still it's about profitability. I think the reason why people are making that Man of Steel comparison, even without inflation, is because it's just the numbers behind the scenes were the same. They spend basically the same amount of money making it, roughly the same amount of money marketing it. One movie did much better with audiences and critics than the other, but the movie that did less made more money, but also was a different economic environment. We have talked about all those factors. So, and I think this kind of then, as we continue the conversation, John, we'll talk about the digital numbers, how well it's doing, because we have to consider, like, has it justified now the decision to release it early on digital? Like the fact that they put it out this early. James Gunn said, "Oh yeah, so that you can watch it and then watch Peacemaker, even though you don't need to watch one to watch the other." Has it all panned out for them? Like, how well is Superman doing on digital? Because that was something that you guys were bringing up throughout the week, and I think it's definitely worth mentioning and discussing. So, I mean, and speaking of which, John, is that I think that's where we're headed next in the conversation, right? Because now we're going to talk about just how good or bad Superman is doing on digital. Because that's Let's see.
This whole thing from Flix Patrol was like, oh, good Superman is failing to make a profit in theaters, and so it was moved to fucking streaming and all this.
Well, okay, so this report, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on this page, but let's just kind of walk through this one step at a time. Basically, you see Superman in the top 10 is at number 9. Now, these numbers are worldwide numbers. I think if you go over to the website Flix Patrol, John, we can take a look at these charts. So you have the Amazon Prime chart. I think is this the homepage? Go to rent or buy. If you click on rent or buy on the top right, you could keep it zoomed in. I think it'll be easier to see the numbers.
I just didn't know if rent or buy was on the top part.
No, it's right there. So these are the rent or buy charts, right? Because Superman is not streaming on HBO Max yet. So these are the charts for across all the different services where you can rent or buy Superman to watch. Superman on Vudu is number 1. But Vudu is
Very
not the biggest platform. The two biggest platforms are Amazon and iTunes. And you see Superman yesterday, it was at 9. I think Wednesday it was at 9. But as of Friday, when we were doing the show, Superman is sitting at number 10 on both Amazon and iTunes. Whereas you look at a movie like Jurassic World Rebirth, which made more money, John, and even Mission Impossible, which made less money, but has been out of theaters, I think, for roughly the same amount of time. In fact, Mission Impossible released on digital right around the same time that Superman did. And Jurassic World released a couple of days after, or I think a couple of days after. All of those movies, and even look, Nobody, which is a freaking, what is it, a 3-4 year old movie to which a sequel is out right now, 28 years later, which is a fraction of, in terms of popularity, box office. And these are all from the same class as Superman. And then Karate Kid Legends, Final Destination, Sinners is ahead of Superman. How to Train Your Dragon, the new one, is ahead. F1 is finally out on to rent or buy. You can't stream it on Apple TV Plus, but it is available to rent or buy on Apple iTunes, and it's at number 3. Now these are worldwide numbers, and on the Google list, it's not even in the top 10. So,
I think it's probably because it's still in theaters. I think, and on top of the fact it's made 600 million means like a lot of people have already seen it. And maybe the people at home aren't the vast majority, and maybe it's the minority, and that's why they haven't been. Or people are waiting even longer until it's on HBO Max for free. So maybe they're waiting for that because they're like, oh, I don't want to pay $30 to see a movie. Fucking, I'll wait even longer until it's on HBO Max for free. So that's entirely possible too.
It is. I'm just pointing out like the fact that it's not doing as well as other movies that have either, been out of theaters longer, were a few years older, or came out on digital.
To be fair,
right
Nobody 2, it's because that sequel's out. So, and Karate Kid Legends, nobody saw that in the theater. It kind of bombed a little bit. And it's just, the thing is, Superman is successful. It's been very successful in the theater. So maybe that's the reason why it's just hasn't been hitting it on digital.
Right, but my argument is very simple, John. And again, I'm sort of almost playing devil's advocate here, but like it's really simply, all I'm saying is their reasoning was, get more money out of this movie while it still got hype around it, right? And I'm just saying, like, you look at it now, it's not blowing the doors off of the digital like market. Like that's all I'm saying. It doesn't feel like. Maybe they could have, because here's the thing. Now it's not making as many selling as many tickets, making as much money at the box office as it would have if it wasn't available on digital. Or maybe that's the calculation they made. They were like, it doesn't matter. At this point, this movie is sort of maxed out at the box office. So, yeah, I'm just, I don't know. Like, am I making sense? Because I feel like maybe they should have waited another week or two. It's like, or maybe people are still seeing it in movie theaters. Maybe that's what it is. Like Enterprising is just said that he did. So, yeah, who knows? But hey, do you know what, John? There is a silver lining, or actually a couple silver linings to this, because these numbers are worldwide numbers. When you look at the American numbers, where Superman has done a lot better, you look at that, list now, and Superman is number 2. I mean, still behind Mission Impossible because, of course, Tom Cruise rules. But Superman coming in number 2, sandwiched between Jurassic World and Mission Impossible. One movie that made more money than Superman, one that made less. But that's not bad. And I mean, the fact that you have the original Mission, actually, you have 2 other Mission Impossible movies: the original and the one that came out right before the current movie, the one from this year, are all in the top 10. But it also lines up right with how Superman performed at the domestic box office versus internationally. It just seems like this movie clearly resonated much more with American audiences than it did anywhere else in the world. I'm not saying it didn't, wasn't loved by other people around the world. It just not to the same degree as it did in the U.S. I don't know, John. Would you agree that that's the reasoning why? Because to me, that's just there's a clear pattern there. So
it definitely seems like it. And in the terms of iTunes, this is for the Amazon, and Superman is on there twice, and it's at 3 and 4. So
do you think that's like one of them is the one from this year, the other one's like the Christopher Reeve Superman?
No, it says you could see on the URL at the bottom here, it both says Superman 2025. So I'll zoom into this, and they're on two different ones, but it's like clearly the same movie. So like no idea. I don't know if that's like a glitch or something, or maybe like one is rent, one is buy, and that's what it is.
Okay.
Maybe one is more popular than the other because obviously people maybe just want to rent it. So
is it not released digitally internationally? Because I feel like
that could definitely be
maybe
the
not
case
everywhere. Too. Yeah, I mean that could have potentially caused part of the issue. By the way, I love the fact that on the
I'm just questioning why the fuck is Tyler Perry show at number 2. That's the thing. How is that fucking higher than South?
That's but like you also, if you go back to the iTunes one, I love the fact that you have Psych in the top 3. Like if you, I'm a psycho, so like I totally
like fucking.
Psych.
I mean, X-Files. X-Files. It's just so. I never finished the show because it got taken off of Netflix. This was back when it was on Netflix fucking years ago. No. I was watching it like fucking like 10, 15 years ago when it was on Netflix. Like, and I was watching it then, and then I eventually, had to, get focus on schoolwork, and then it got taken off. So I'm like, well, guess I can't watch the rest of the show now. I think I watched like the first 3 or 4 seasons. Great show. Like, even I like, way later. It's still it holds up. It holds
up, especially because they
shot
it
I'm
with
confused
like
why the fucking A-Team is at number 1. That's like, I don't know.
Because Mr. T, because he ain't no damn fool. That's why. But anyway,
he doesn't pity them either.
I don't pity those fools. Anyway, I rewrote the end scene where Superman Lex talk. If you'd like to hear the idea, says Game Freakness. That sounds fun. If you drop it in the comment down below, like you can make it as long as you want. We'll go through it, dude. Yes, Movie Spud, X-Files, one of the best sci-fi shows of all time.
Are the movies good? Like I heard the first movie's good. The second movie's not that great.
But it's also not terrible. Like the second movie is watchable. The first one is way much better, and I think the rerun, the revival that they did was also okay. It wasn't peak X-Files because a lot of the X-Files work so well because it's the 90s. Like you have phones that have antenna coming out of them, and like where you can't just like look up everything on your smartphone that solves all the mysteries, or like you can't. It's a lot of the UFO and conspiracy stuff doesn't quite hit the same, but they did incorporate AI and stuff, and but I will say though, like every time I watch the X-Files late at night, then I have to watch something else for a couple of hours that's a lot lighter in tone before I can fall asleep, because some of the scarier shit, especially some of the Monster of the Week episodes, I
remember the guy that could like shapeshift and like he could like stretch his fingers and all that shit. I remember that, dude. That was like in one of the early episodes. That was creepy shit.
I was like probably 5 or 6 years old.
I remember the episode where they discovered Area 51 and then they lobotomized fucking Mulder, and we're like, oh shit.
I remember that was one of my episodes that I grew up watching. That was like, it was that one, and there was one where they get stuck in the Arctic, I think, and then the scientists are dying because they have like something going under their skin, like the crawlies, and then
that was supposed to be like a bottle episode that was supposed to like save money, but then it ended up being like the most expensive episode that season.
Yeah. God, like those 2 episodes
have like
haunted me.
Fire under the ice or something, or like Secrets under the ice or something like that. Yeah, those were like early season 1 episodes. I remember those. I remember the episode that Peter Boyle was a part of where he played like an actual psychic, and he was like trying to figure out who like murdered this like woman or something. And then there was like this fake psychic that had like a 1-800 number and was like this, and he was like stealing money from people because he was like a hack. Meanwhile, Peter Boyle was this jaded guy. He's like, I have this gift, but like, I don't really give a fuck. And so, because, Peter Boyle, typical Peter Boyle performance, but, it just, I remember that episode. That was a really good, intriguing episode about like people who clearly aren't psychics that want money from it. Then I think there are people out there that are like, have like a sixth sense kind of thing. It's just not, they're not the people that like make money from it. They're just normal people that are just like, I have this thing, and it's just like, I have this like weird tick, and it's like, that kind of thing.
It's yeah,
exactly. He played a white supremacist stuck in a car with a bomb attached to it, I think.
Dude, there's an X-Files episode where you see a younger, chubbier Ryan Reynolds play a jock. Like, and Jack Black is in it. You will find
everybody was in it.
Everybody was in.
I remember I was watching Supernatural at around the same time, and Mitch Pileggi, Mark Sheppard,
Stargate too,
and the black guy who played Rufus in Supernatural. I'm blanking on his name, but those three guys were in like within like 5 episodes of one. I think like Mark Shepard played like this pyromaniac kind of guy who had like pyrokinesis or something, and so he was that. Mitch Pileggi had like a big role in the show. He was I think he was like the head of the CIA or FBI or whatever. But I think he was like friends with the Smoking Man, and then
no. Mitch Pileggi's character is like the head of the FBI.
Okay, the head of the so I was right. But I remember there was the whole thing with like they blew up the Smoking Man, and then they still somehow brought him back.
The Smoking Man never dies, and Skinner. Well, yes, Mitch Pileggi plays
Skinner. Yes, that's what it was.
He actually, and then for the later seasons, like where Mulder leaves the show for a couple of seasons, and Skinner basically becomes like the lead alongside Scully, and then those were like, and then he comes back.
Wasn't there like another guy that came in though for like seasons 8 and 9?
It just didn't work well. Like I forget the name. I don't. It's like the post Michael Scott years of The Office. I don't really like. It's foggy up in here. So anyway,
it was Robert Patrick, and I think the reason it didn't work. I think because I never watched these seasons because again it got taken off Netflix before I could finish it. But I think the reason that I remember somebody talking about it that the reason it didn't work is both of them were skeptics. The whole balance of the show was that Mulder was a believer and Scully was a skeptic.
Some of the seasons where they kind of switch, or some of the episodes where they almost switch like roles, but they never made it permanent. But there were definitely episodes where they like almost like played the opposite. Like it was just fun.
Which is funny because Gillian Anderson is a believer, and
in real life,
David, the actor who plays Mulder is a skeptic.
Why am I forgetting his? He was in
Californication. Oh my god,
Californication. David. I was gonna say Schwimmer. That's not it.
I keep thinking of David Dastmalchian. I'm like, no, that's not him.
No.
Hang on.
Why are we both blanking?
David Duchovny. Jesus fucking Christ. How could I forget his name?
There you go.
Jesus.
There you go.
Okay, and sorry, Game Freakness is revealing his idea. So Lex and Superman talk like they were doing, but instead of the dog attacking Lex for literally no reason, they should have been talking. Then the monitors expose Lex like they do, and Lex gets upset and reaches in his pocket and takes out a kryptonite blade and attacks Superman, who isn't paying attention. Then the dog attacks Lex and saves Superman. Okay, I can kind of see that. But why would he have a kryptonite blade? Like the whole bit, like Frank Grillo said, like all kryptonite was off Earth, like it was all destroyed. So I don't know how that would work.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That's yeah. Anyway, I'm like stuck on X-Files. I'm like,
all right, let's I think we need to, kind of just move on now.
We need to wrap it up.
We're just talking about X-Files. I mean, it's a great show. Like, it's a fucking phenomenal show. But
literally, it's been off the air like years ago.
But it's 11 o'clock. We still need to do Fancast Friday. So I just want to remind everybody to thank them for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell if you haven't already, so you know when we go live. Since we went a little bit earlier today, we were ready, so we're like, boom, let's go. Yeah, that is 100% true. But remember, guys, this isn't it. Maybe grab a snack, maybe grab a drink.
Like 5 minutes.
In about like 15 minutes, half an hour. I don't know.
Less. Yeah.
30 minutes. Yeah. We don't know yet, but we're going to be doing Fancast Friday after this. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be up soon. So until then, why don't we get good old James Gunn to play us out once again? Because we are not only blessed from the start, but we are also blessed at the end. And also look up.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto. longer.
Fuck Jeff Snyder.